Hello, today I am going to talk to you about this high density urban development that is near completion in Queenstown, Frankton. This is the computer generated image of it, and
it's the main street.
And I don't even want to critique the architecture, which actually I think is pretty great. But what I do want to look at is the urban design of this, because what you can see from this site plan is how little green space there is, because essentially you've got all these houses spread over the whole site. So that's 226 little boxes with a 1 meter gap in between each one over this whole site. And what that means is there's very little green space. So I have chucked this into AI, and you can see what would happen if we created the same amount of dwellings but made them duplexes. So actually put two joined together. This is what happens to the site plan, which you can see is completely different from a green perspective. And this is what happens to the view, the same view, the amount of green that you could add to it. And then I wanted to look at it as if it was a terrace. So these are all forms of urban development that create actually, they're cheaper to build, and they actually are inherently more energy efficient because you get energy from your neighbour. And this is what it does to the green space in between all of these developments. And then the final one is looking at it as if they were built as 4-story apartment blocks. So again, same size, and this is what happens in terms of green space. So why do I think green space is so important? Because it just is. Like, access to nature is really good for us. Connection to nature, having space between buildings is really important, so you get more light into the buildings. You've got more opportunity then, if you've got light coming in, for more solar gain, as well as just essentially feeling better. And just seeing a tree or nature outside rather than your neighbour's house is obviously much better.
Not much in the way of greenery, apart from on this side, it's the back garden, right on the street. Got about a 3 metre wide back garden, and then parking. And over here, that's your back gardens, right next to each other.
So it's the end of the day now, and after that site visit, I guess I want to summarise my thoughts about the development, because there's a lot that is good about it, and there's a lot that I want to, I guess, praise, which is that we've got a densification in a place that needs it. We've got repeatable form, which is a really good thing in terms of affordability. And they are attractive. They've got an architect to design them. It's attractive. But I guess overall, my concern is that it is a huge missed opportunity for something that could have been fantastic. Mainly because the question really is this creating a good space for people to live in? And I'm not sure that it is. Essentially, these little houses, which are around 70 square metres, have no storage outside or inside. So I've got photos of things like bikes. The people who've already moved in, they've got this tiny little outside space at the back, which is the only place they've got to put any sort of outside gear. And living in a town like Queenstown, having space for storage is essential for things like bikes, skis, camping gear. It's an outdoor town, so that in itself just doesn't make sense to me. But then just this fact that it's been done in a way that there's no real green space, there's no amenity for the people that live there. They're literally right on top of their neighbours. And the only reason I can see that it's been done like that is to maximise yield. Look, I could be wrong, and I'd be happy if someone told me there was another reason for that, but it seems to me that they're being marketed as villas, which is because they are standalone. But the benefit to inhabitants from making them not standalone, I think, would have been far, far greater. So there would have been much more green space. They could have been more energy efficient without changing any of the construction, more light into the buildings, and just by doing that, you could have had slightly bigger buildings, which means you could have got some storage into the buildings. So anyway, love to know your thoughts. Any comments are welcomed below.